Hello everyone, welcome to the 13th webinar in 12D's Industry Solutions webinar series. My name is Lisa Stewart and I'm the Marketing and Communications Coordinator here at 12D Solutions. Our Industry Solutions webinars are designed to provide insights into overcoming challenges in an evolving industry in more effective and efficient ways. We'll continue to run these webinars regularly and record them for posting on our YouTube channel and website. Our first 12 webinars from this Industry Solutions series, as well as 7 webinars from our training series, are available online if you missed those. During this live presentation, you'll be able to type your questions along the way, and we'll answer as many as possible throughout the webinar. At the end, I'll also read out some of your questions to the presenter if there's time. Today's webinar is something a bit different from our previous Industry Solutions webinars. It's called Analysing Vehicle Swept Path with AutoTURN Online, and it will be presented by Andres Velez of Transoft Solutions in Canada. In this webinar, Andres will illustrate how engineers and designers can simulate vehicle manoeuvres and turning requirements using AUSTROADS designed vehicles with AutoTURN Online. From this session, you'll learn the best way to perform vehicle swept path analysis using the most trusted technology adopted by engineers in over 120 countries. Over to you, Andres.
Okay, so hello everyone, and thanks a lot, Lisa, for this great introduction. Welcome to this session on analyzing vehicle swept path with AutoTURN Online. As Lisa said, my name is Andres Velez. I'm the product manager for AutoTURN. And in this presentation, I'll show you how our latest innovation can help you to perform swept path analysis and simulate vehicle turning paths dynamically online. So with that said, let's take a look at our agenda for today. We're going to start with a brief introduction about Transoft and AutoTURN. Then we'll see some of the highlights about AutoTURN Online and how to access the tool. Before we start with our technical demonstration, I would like to address some of the frequently asked questions about the product. That way, we'll be able to focus in the technical functionalities of the software rather than licensing options and stuff like that. And then, of course, we'll have our technical demonstration in which I'll show you how to perform swept path analysis using AutoTURN on a 12D XML file. Finally, we'll have our Q&A session, and just as Lisa said, we're going to try to address as many questions as possible. If for whatever reason we cannot answer any of your questions, just feel free to type them in and we'll try to contact you later and give you an answer. So let's begin with some information about Transoft and AutoTURN. And Transoft Solutions develops and supports innovative and time-saving CAD-based software for engineers, architects, and drafters to help them address their civil and infrastructure design and planning needs. So as I was saying, this level of success and commitment clearly makes us a worldwide leader in our field. To achieve and sustain this worldwide position and industry, we've been focusing our development efforts in 3 areas. The first one, of course, is research and development, and this is demonstrated by our efforts in trying to stay current and ahead of the industry trends, and this is illustrated by our efforts in implementing and support 3D analysis, also by our field tests that we do in order to verify the accuracy of a program, and also to develop new functionalities in the software, such as the ability to simulate special transport vehicles, oversized, overweight. So we partner with industry manufacturers to develop new tools in the software. And we also develop new tools, as I just said, to keep, and we keep innovating and producing solutions to the industry worldwide. And AutoTURN Online is a good example of this, where we're trying to help designers have a reliable solution for checking or simulating vehicle movements. And finally, we focus our efforts as well in the development and update of our vehicle libraries, ensuring that regional libraries are up to date on an annual basis. So all these elements show our level of commitment and care for maintaining and advancing this subject matter. As you can see, swept path analysis is a specialized field that no other company actually put as much effort and care as Transoft. Without reaching critical mass like us, it does not make business sense to sustain such a specialized topic. This is what we always set AutoTURN apart. Our vision is to advance this technology where it can be licensed to other parties that have swept path needs, as opposed to them developing their own version and maintaining it. Some of our clients worldwide, Tesla, FedEx, UPS, Walt Disney, and a lot of our agencies and kind of important players worldwide are part of our clients. And now, with that said, let's take a look now to AutoTURN Online. And AutoTURN Online makes all this leading technology in vehicle turn simulation now available for 12D users. Being a cloud-based solution, AutoTURN Online is accessible anywhere and anytime through your internet browser. And the process to perform this analysis is very, very simple. We'll see this in a little bit more detail, but essentially it requires you to export your 12D model as a 12D XML file, then import that file into AutoTURN Online, select the design vehicle that you're interested in using, and then export your simulations and bring them into your 12D XML model. The first step before we start with the technical demo, what you need to do first is to access the tool, and of course, this first step is to sign up for free. We have currently deployed a server in Australia to improve performance of the tool and make sure that you get the best experience with the tool. Once you sign up, make sure you get the 30-day free trial of design vehicles that are available for the Australia and New Zealand region. And we have more than 30 different design vehicles based on the design guidelines such as AUSTROADS 2013. So they are up to date, and you have plenty of options in terms of vehicles. Once this trial period is over, you can continue using the site, but it'll be reduced to just one demo vehicle. And now, before starting with the technical demonstration, let me go through some of the FAQs that will help us clarify a few things before we start with the technical demo. Like I said before, in case you have other questions, feel free to enter them at the question sections, the section of the kind of dashboard that you have there, and I'll try to address them after the technical demo. So let's go through some of the questions we have had in the past. Can anyone sign up to the site? Yes, and all you need to access the site is to fill the contact information form with your basic name, last name, and email address. Next question. Once the 30-day trial period is over, can I still have access to the site? I think I already addressed this one during the PowerPoint. So yes, you'll have access to the site, but only using a demo vehicle. Can custom vehicles be created in AutoTURN Online? That's a functionality we don't have yet, but we have plans to implement this in a nearby future, and you will see it. What types of files can be imported into AutoTURN Online? AutoTURN Online supports 12D XML files, JPEG, PNG, as well as DXF files. So you can import any of these files and perform simulations on top of them. The licensing options for AutoTURN Online, these are handled on a single account-based model. And what that means is that when you purchase vehicle library or the bundle that's available for the region, that bundle is only available for one account at a time, and that account will have access to these vehicles. So with that, we can start right away with our technical demonstration. Okay, and I guess you guys can see now my screen, and we're going to start, of course, with a 12D XML model. As you can see, this is a very simple site, and we have a loading dock on the left-hand side of the building, and the first part corresponds to the parking layout for essentially passenger cars. So we're going to be generating movements for these vehicles on this site. Like I said before, the first step is to export or output or project from 12D XML. So we go to the output options and make sure you select the 12D XML data option. Of course, you're probably more aware of this. We need to give it a name. Then make sure you select 12D XML so that AutoTURN Online can bring the file in. We're going to give it a name to the XML file and then select our folder. I'm going to use this one, which is on my desktop, and call this site 1. And then we can write the file and then finish. And once the file is in your local machine, we can go right away to AutoTURN Online. Once you log into your account, in this case I'm already logged in, the first step is to go to Drawings. Oh, yeah, too much time out of the application. That's why it kicked me out. But it's going to take just a couple of seconds to log in again. And once we're in, we have a tutorial in case you want to learn the tool. And it'll walk you through the steps. If you click there, it'll tell you exactly what to do to start generating simulations. So the first thing is select one of the vehicles and then say OK. And as you can see, it'll guide you through all the steps. Once you have selected the vehicle, you can go to Generate the ArcPath, select there, and you see now the vehicle following my mouse. If I click, the first click defines the starting position, the second click defines the orientation, and then it's just a matter of start dragging the vehicle around and generate multiple and different sections. AutoTURN Online is also capable of simulating reverse maneuvers, and we can click here and just drag the rear part of the car to the position we want. And then we can just do a right click and finish. So in case you need to get started with the tool right away and get some practice, you can try the tutorial. You can select at what time do you want to do it, or you can just skip the tutorial. I'm going to leave this and I'm going to go back now to our drawing so we can work on a more realistic background. So this is our starting point with AutoTURN Online. Was once we have done the tutorial, our next step will be, we don't have any drawings here yet, so our next step will be to generate a new one, and this will allow us to import either an aerial image or a CAD as background. If you're only interested in testing vehicles, see how tight they can turn, you can choose the none option, and then you have essentially just a blank space where you can move the vehicle around and realize how the software works. But for now, let's go to CAD. And then the next thing is to select the file we want to import. This brings up our Windows browser, and I have my exported file here on 12D, site 1. We can select that, and this will bring up right away the image. So now this file has been imported into AutoTURN Online. We can set up, the first thing, of course, as you saw in the tutorial, is to select our design vehicle. In this case, these are the libraries that we have available for Australia and New Zealand. So you have AUSTROADS, AUSTROADS 2006, and AUSTROADS 2013. There's also libraries available for the standards in New Zealand. such as RTS. So in this case, all the columns are, you can sort by column by any of these parameters, name, car, or you can use the search box there to find the vehicle more easy. So if I type in semi-trailer, because we're looking for one, I can just pick one of these. The main or the most relevant information is displayed on the screen. Once we're sure that's a trailer we want to evaluate, and let's say we want to use this one, we say okay to that, and then we're now capable of starting producing simulations. So the next tool is generate arc path. And once again, as I was explaining before, our first click defines the starting position, or second click defines the orientation. You probably didn't notice, but here we have a dialog box that pops up, and this dialog box allows us to control the speed, super elevation, and lateral friction. The effect of changing the speed is, well, the vehicle will require a larger radius to be able to turn. So let's say we want to start at 20 kilometers an hour. Now, just to show you, we can turn tight, but not as tight as we would expect. And we can produce a section up to here. And then we want to make this sharp turn to the left, so we can start lowering down the speed. And let's say we want to use 10 kilometers an hour. And continue with our turn here. And I went too far, but still make it through. If you click the wrong place and you want to undo the section, you have an option to undo here in the dialog box, or you can also do it here at the top. But since we were able to make it through, I'm going to say okay to that, and then start driving the vehicle towards the bottom of the screen. And like I said, we can generate multiple sections, and we can, again, control the speed here, make it lower, so 5 kilometers an hour. So we are sure this vehicle can turn as tight as we can. And we can go down up to 1 kilometer an hour if that will give us more flexibility. And then let's say we want this vehicle to come all the way over here, and we want to evaluate this loading dock, and we need to check reverse maneuver. I'm going to zoom in so that you can see there's a blue arrow here at the back of the vehicle indicating that the reverse maneuver can be triggered here. This is displayed at every section, so at any point in time you can choose to go in reverse just by clicking here, and then it's just a matter of start dragging the vehicle to the loading dock we want. So let's say in this case I want to bring this guy all the way over here. So I click here, and then I keep dragging the vehicle, and that's how easy it is, and we can produce our sections. In this case, I went too far, so I can undo that section and go and try again to back up to now this spot over here, and then continue dragging the vehicle backwards, and I have it almost straight there. I can go all the way to the back and then have it more or less aligned. If I want to continue going forward, I can click here and then move the vehicle forward and simulate the vehicle moving out of the loading dock. But for now, let's say I want to keep it there. So now the simulation is being saved there. And let's say we want to also evaluate a vehicle coming to this area. But now to make it more distinctive, there are options to control the envelopes that are displayed, and we can control also the colors. So the properties option allows us to preset these parameters. So if we go here, the first thing we have is in regards to the drafting tools, which I'll show you in a minute. In regards to the path, we can configure the different elements. So how do we want to display this centerline path, which right now it's in magenta, and the path icons, which are actually these arrows indicating wherever a section was generated, or when we did a click to generate the section. As for the vehicles, we can configure and change the colors in which vehicles, vehicle name, and tires are displayed. Let's say for now, let's keep them this way because the background is kind of light gray. So we want to make sure, I want to make sure you guys can see the vehicles. We can change the color of the envelope, and for that I'm going to do, for our next simulation, I'm going to make the vehicle body envelope blue. We can also set up clearances for the front and the rear of the vehicle, as well as for the entire body. But for now, we're going to make, our next simulation is going to be a reverse simulation, a passenger car simulation. So it's going to be a small, but if we check here, then we can enter, if we need to have a safety buffer and say, okay, I want this to be, or check this envelope 2 meters away from the car. When we say okay to that, we can go back to our vehicles. And now let's change this for a passenger car. So all I need to do is type, actually I should type just passenger car. And then we can pick up our AUSTROADS 2013 passenger car and say okay. And now I'm going to produce a simulation here to access this parking lot. Let's say this vehicle is coming over here. Once again, we have our starting conditions. Let's say we want to change the speed because this guy is going to come a little faster here. And we can make the turn. We can start slowing down so that it turns a little bit tighter. And now you can see it turns a lot tighter just because we lower down the speed. And then again, we can bring the vehicle up to this point, and then I'm going to zoom again and trigger a reverse maneuver and back up to right position. If we want to go forward from there, then we can just go ahead and drag the vehicle. You can see how the steering angle is displayed every time I move the vehicle, and it changes as I move the orientation of the vehicle. You can choose not to display this if you want, and we'll do that in the properties. Once I finish, there are a few things that I can do with this. Let's say I don't agree with the envelopes that I have, I can change them. So if I select the simulation and do a right click, I can go back to the properties and change. So let's say for this one, we're going to change the envelope back to green. So we can do that right away. And then it goes to the standard we were using for the semi-trailer. If we want to keep it the way it was, it's just a matter of doing a right click, select the properties option. Let me just do it a little bit slower. So you first select your simulation, you go to properties, and then you change it. And when you say okay, the simulation updates right away. Now, once you're done generating your simulations, you can choose to save this in the cloud. So if we save, it's going to ask us to give it a name. So we can call this Site 1 and say save. And now if we go to our drawings, you can see now we have a project here. And if I click on it, it'll open the space where we were working before. There are other tools to produce simulations. Right now, this is the most dynamic that we have. However, the tools on the left-hand side of the screen allows you to draft geometry that's intended to represent the centerline path of the vehicle. And I'm going to do it even though it's going to be in the wrong side of the road to generate another simulation over here. So we can draw a couple of lines, and then if we want to add an arc, we can do a right click and then select to change to an arc portion in which we get radius. And then let's say we want to just leave it up to there. And then we can select that geometry, do a right click, and use a path follow simulation. And what a path follow simulation is essentially, well, it'll ask you for the direction you want to go. So let's make it the right side of the road, and I'm going to make it go this way. So if you have a centerline path that you would like your vehicle to follow, you can still draft that path over here and produce simulations based on it. You can delete the simulation if you want. You can also delete the path. Once again, we can save, or if we are ready to go with this, the next step will be to export this project. So when you hit export, this is going to start generating a file that contains a 12D XML file that contains the simulations we just created. You can see the file now here at the bottom of my screen. It's a 12D XML file. I'm going to leave AutoTURN Online open for a moment, and I'm going to go back to my 12D model. And the next thing is to import our simulations here. So once again, we can go to data input, and then we're going to import our 12D XML data file. We click there, we look for the file, and this is on my desktop. Oh no, I'm sorry, downloads, 12D XML. We can open, we can read. It takes just a couple of seconds to import the file. And then if we say finish and we turn on our site layout, we got our simulations there. At this moment or at this point, we can control each simulation is saved independently. So you can choose not to display one of them and produce a more like a clear layout, or you can choose to have both of them at the same time, depending on what you're looking for. But you can control which or each in each simulation individually. And that's pretty much what it is at this moment. And yeah, it seems like we're right on time, and we'll be able to have at least a 10-minute Q&A session. So if you guys have additional questions or would like to see some functionality, please let me know and I can demonstrate.
Okay, thanks, Andres. So yes, I'll just read out a couple of these questions that have come through.
Okay.
We've had one here. Can the exported files be edited with an external AutoTURN application in AutoCAD?
No. Right now, the files are exported as blocks or individual entities. They can be read there, but if you have AutoTURN, you won't be able to read those because the blocks are generated independently from AutoTURN. It's the same algorithm, but because of the kind of the changes between platform and the way the simulation is generated online, the block attributes are different. So you won't be able to, let's say, continue a simulation that was created in AutoTURN Online using the desktop version.
Sure, okay. The other question that's come through is about costs. Do you have a simple answer to that, or would you prefer to be emailing people a quotation?
Yes, well, I'll give you our contact information at the end of the PowerPoint, like once we have done the Q&A sessions. I will encourage you to contact our office in Australia and any of our account managers, and they'll be able to talk to you about price and the different options that are there available.
Sure, thank you. Look, I think we might finish off the Q&A at this point, unless anyone else has anything that comes through in the next couple of minutes. We'll definitely be putting the recording of this webinar up online in coming days through our website and our YouTube channel. And we've got our next Industry Solutions webinar, version 12 CAD with multi-page plot sheet on the 7th of September. And some more great training webinar topics coming up from next week. So keep an eye on the website for details of those, and also on email and social media. So I'll just hand back to Andres now if you've got anything further you'd like to add before we finish things off.
Yes, absolutely. Some small closing remarks on my side. We encourage you to sign up for free at AutoTURNOnline.com. Try it free using this link. Also, we encourage you to get the 30-day free trial, design vehicles, and give it a shot and use the tool as much as you can. Take full advantage of this 30-day trial, and that will get you up to speed with the tool as well. As for more questions in regards to licensing or prices, feel free to contact us and let us know if you have any other questions, or if you experience any difficulties accessing the tool. However, like I said, the server is in Australia, so you shouldn't have any issues at all. And yeah, all I have to say is, like, I hope you have enjoyed the webinar, and I hope you put these great tools to good use. So yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and looking forward to talk or hear from you soon. So yeah, hand back this to Lisa, but if you have any questions, I guess I'll be around for some time.
Sure, okay. I'll just have actually a couple of people have come through just now, Andres, if you don't mind. We've got a question here about how all of this works with roundabouts. I don't know if you've got anything further you can demonstrate on that.
Let me see if I can find. Yeah, actually, I think I could show this functionality. I'll just ask you to bear with me for a moment while I get maybe an aerial image from Google Maps. And yeah, since we have time, I can show you that functionality. But with roundabouts, the way the software works is exactly the same. It's got an extra step with aerial images, because we need to scale the image so that the scale is proper to what we want to do. So let me just get a roundabout in Australia, and I'm gonna do a screen cap of my Google Maps, as you will see in a minute. Save. So now all I have done is just a screen cap of my Google Maps. And I can go again here to drawings, leave this session. We already saved it, so no worries. We can go new. And then we're going to import an image. And I have that image saved on my desktop. We can go, okay. You get a message saying that it needs to be scaled. And then all we need to do is to scale this. So we can use the scale bar here. We zoom in. And then let's say this, which right now is 2 meters wide. We want to make it at least, let's go wide and say 4 meters. So if we say OK to that, now this has been scaled. And on a roundabout, essentially analysis is the same. This is just for swept path analysis. So if we take our passenger car there, select our vehicle, once again, starting point and orientation. We can control the speed. So if you have your entry speed, your circulatory speed, and your exit speed, that you can enter those there, and it's going to constrain the turning of the vehicle depending on how fast you're going. So if our entry speed is, let's say, 25 kilometers an hour, you can place that section there. You can see the arc is quite large. But then if we slow down to something like 10 kilometers an hour, Oops, sorry. So 10. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. It's because I'm moving my mouse backwards. So if I go here now, I can type 10, and we lower down the speed a lot. And then we use our circulatory speed here, and now we exit. And we can start increasing the speed to something like 25 again, although it's not the way it works. 25, and we hit enter. And you can see now, because I'm doing a higher speed, my radius is constrained by that, and I cannot turn as tight. So for this case, I'll have to lower it down to 20 kilometers an hour or something like that, and then I can turn a little bit tighter. So that's how you can perform the analysis on a roundabout. If you have your CAD drawing, your 12D drawing, you import it in, you can indicate the centerline geometry that you would like this vehicle to follow based on the fastest path analysis, and use that as reference to generate a simulation. The only thing you need to take into account is that by doing that, you're only taking into account the turning characteristics of the vehicle. The speed will be given by the centerline path, but the vehicle won't be using any speed or a very low speed, let's say 1 kilometer an hour speed, to follow that path. So I hope that addresses the question.
Wonderful. That sounded fantastic. I think we will close off the Q&A there for today, but I will be anyone we didn't get to live, I'll be sending your questions through to Andres to answer shortly. So yeah, thank you again very much, and thank you everyone for attending. That concludes our presentation for today, and we hope to see you at future webinars.